Welcome to the Investing Podcast presented by Tusk Media. The final bell has rung and the market is now closed. So let's move on to an audio and video recap with the Investing Happy Hour.
Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the Investing Happy Hour. This is part of the Investing Podcast. It's Thursday, July 21st, 2016. Special greetings to those out there watching on Periscope, watching live. That's right, folks. If you're listening to the recording or you're watching this on YouTube or the video podcast, you could have been watching it live. We do it every Thursday at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to Twitter, right here, at Tusk Media LLC. You can check the link out there. But shout out to everybody that's watching live. We're having a good time. If I mess up, we're going to start over. I told you to do this last week, and I don't think anyone took me up on it. But watch both the live feed, which is archived for 24 hours, and the recorded feed, and see where we mess up. It's a really fun way to keep us honest. So you guys should do that. Speaking of honesty, Austin, I don't know what that has to do with Austin. Not that he's dishonest, but Austin, great job covering for us lately. Big shout out to him. Wanted to take this time to say thank you. And also take this time to say Austin messed up this morning. I don't really know what all I got out because the camera recording card, memory card, I think is what the pros call it, got full. So I'm going to actually probably walk on my own toes here later and just repeat exactly what I said this morning because I thought I nailed it. So we're just going to do that again. If any of that got published, apologies. If it didn't, you're welcome. But let's talk about the markets. Markets were down. Kind of a weird day. We were due for a down day, I feel like. We've just been marching up and up and up and up. It's been kind of crazy. But Dow down 42 basis points. S&P down 36. NASDAQ down 31, Global Dow up 5, Global Dow up 5, gold up 1.1%, oil down about 2.5%. Again, we've been just kind of going up these stairs. Dow had set like 7 consecutive records, something like that in terms of highs. So we were kind of due for a pullback, but it was a weird day, I think more so than that, because you had really wide terrains as far as what major companies were doing. We talked about earnings all week. We explained how it's like allowance and how if you get $10 and you spend a bunch of it, what's left is kind of your earnings. So we talked about earnings a lot and how that would really drive this week, but this was the first day where I felt like we had really broad results within the market. A couple examples here. eBay, strong earnings, up almost 11%. So eBay was up 10.9%. So they were way over here in the positive. You had eBay over here. Great job, eBay. Congrats. Good job by you. You also had Humana kind of up here, up about 8.4%. That's Humana. Again, eBay, almost 11%. I just wanted to use the whiteboard. That's blackboard. That's what this comes down to. Not that I see color. Then you had other companies just getting absolutely hammered. So you had like Southwest Airlines. Love was not exactly feeling the love. Down a ton, almost down double digits. Actually, we're down double digits, down 11%. So you had really broad kind of spectrum, and then at the end of the day, we settled right around there, just down kind of a little bit, not a big deal. So those are a couple of the winners, a couple of the losers. Again, earnings are going to continue to drive the conversation today. Going to continue to drive the conversation in tomorrow. We got a lot of people reporting after hours. I know Starbucks was reporting just now, and I think those numbers looked good, although admittedly didn't really spend a whole lot of time on it. We'll hit on that tomorrow. But lots of earnings coming out tomorrow, lots of earnings coming out next week. So that's just going to be something we got to continue to look at. A couple big headlines that I thought were interesting this morning that I think Austin tried to terrorize and take off the podcast because they were too good and he knew he was going to do the lunchtime one. The RNC. You guys got to be watching this. I mean, it drives me nuts. I called it the meme fest for conservatives. It's so, I don't know, almost exasperating at times. But the big news out of it yesterday was Ted Cruz. Everybody loves Ted Cruz. It seems like everybody just really likes that guy. Seems really likable. That's not true at all. Everybody hates him. But the big story was what Ted Cruz didn't do yesterday during his speech. And what he didn't do, the big takeaway I thought was he didn't have that mouth booger show up and he didn't swallow it. I mean, everybody remembers that from all the Republican debates where he would spit something up and it would settle right around here and he would just keep talking, lick around it, kind of do that. I wish we knew how to zoom in on this camera because I'd really drive it home, but he would play with that thing throughout an hour and a half long period and then he'd swallow it. So he didn't do that. And that was, I think, probably the big surprise of the night. Also, he didn't endorse Donald Trump, which I guess is a headline, but he didn't really endorse Donald Trump. no one has ever looked more smug than Ted Cruz when he was not endorsing Donald Trump. It was honestly kind of endearing. I really enjoyed it. It was not that I necessarily agreed with it. Everybody was like, oh, he's a man of principles. No, he's setting up a run in 2020. He wants to be the one guy that said, oh, I said I wouldn't vote for Donald and I didn't endorse him. But anyway, so that was kind of the RNC, kind of nuts. It's a freak show, people. Other story that I really liked this morning, it was a feel-good tale of people helping out young people. Wells Fargo and Amazon have gotten together and solved what I think has become a really big problem for young people, and that's this. Young people aren't taking on enough debt. College students in particular, they're not borrowing enough money. We never hear about student loans because students don't have them. We never hear about credit card debt because kids aren't taking on credit card debt anymore. So Amazon and Wells Fargo said, you know what? Let's create some debt because this area of the population really needs some debt. And what they've decided is that Wells Fargo is now going to offer preferred lending rates, interest rates that are due from students to Amazon Prime students. So if you're a student out there and you're looking for a way to finally break into the world of debt, you finally want to borrow some money, they're making it possible. So shout out to Amazon and Wells Fargo for making things a reality. This has been the Investing Happy Hour. Thanks for being here. Scotty, good toss. Scotty shook that up. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. We'll be back for the morning market mimosa. We'll be back for the stock market power lunch. It's Friday, so you know we're not going to be here for the afternoon. We're going to cut out early, maybe even have one of these that's not quite as shaken up. Can you see the head on this thing? I mean, from here up. Way to go, Scotty.
I barely shook it.
Scotty's the new Austin. Y'all have a great night. Talk to you soon.
Tusk Media is a subsidiary of Narwhal Capital Management. Ratings and reviews of Tusk Media content are not to be construed as endorsements of opinions, analysis, or services offered by Tusk or its parent company. The opinions and predictions shared here are our professional beliefs at the time of publication. We are not under duress from any of the corporate entities mentioned. This is not a solicitation to take any particular action. Although we are investment advisors, this information should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. We strive to be as impartial, insightful, and accurate as possible. We base our opinions, analysis, and calculations on information we believe to be reliable, but we cannot guarantee its accuracy. We can, however, guarantee that our opinions will sometimes be flat out wrong due to a variety of factors. Employees and clients of Narwhal Capital Management may or may not hold positions in the securities detailed and may or may not hold these positions in the future. A full list of all securities purchased, sold, or held during the 12 months preceding the date of this publication can be provided upon request. Unless otherwise noted, all data accessed via MarketWatch or the Bloomberg terminal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. A copy of Narwhal's Form ADV is available at the SEC's website, www.advisorinfo.sec.gov, or from Narwhal upon written request.